Well, that felt like I was getting back in a Steve Bruce air-controlled time machine. Tottenham fucking match review. Welcome back to another video on the channel, Newcastle fans. Not a very happy video today. If you are new to Black and White Banter, make sure you drop us a like, drop us a subscribe and get us on Facebook and Instagram as well. I've literally just turned that telly off. I didn't get to go down to the game today, too much on this weekend, but I've just turned it off because I don't even want to watch the analysis. What the hell has just happened in 45 minutes there? I just feel like every single Newcastle fan, myself included, has just had a big Will Smith slap across the fucking face back into reality with that one. I'm gobsmacked. I really am. I'm still speechless now. Probably haven't chosen a very good time to jump on a video. We just looked like a different side in that second half. A side that could only resemble, for me, everything that I remember about Steve Bruce being in charge. Now, I'm not going to be fickle enough to jump on and slate every single one of them or slate Eddie Howe. But again, when your team gets battered 5-1 after being 1-0 up and gets beat 5-1 after being 1s each at half time, I can't sit here and not criticise, because that second half was just not good enough from any player on that pitch. We absolutely turned over, dropped our kegs and said, go on Tottenham, do your worst. That's how bad that second half was, and that was the worst performance under Eddie Howe by some distance, purely because in the first half we looked like the organised, controlled team, who I might even go as far as saying just edged the first half. I think we were dangerous going forward. We created a couple of openings here and there, and in that first half, that was the Newcastle that Eddie Howe has turned us into, playing against a very tough team like Tottenham. Not scared of them. Pace on the counter-attack, pace going forward, defensively sound as a pound. And I don't know what happened at half-time. I would love to sit here and say that Tottenham came out and were absolutely incredible. I think Harry Kane, our England captain, I've got to say, I agree with the pundits on TV. He was brilliant today. He was. He pulled the strings, some of his passing. I know he didn't even score, but some of his passing was fantastic. And we couldn't cope with him in the second half. But there was so much space in that gap between midfield and centre-back. We were getting picked out time and time again, just with simple balls through the centre. And we just weren't at it. We were second to every ball. I feel like the heads went down after the second goal went in, and then the third goal came along quite quickly. And even at 3-1, I'm thinking, right, there's over half an hour left on the clock. If we can get a goal, make it 3-2, there's still so much of this to play. And I never saw that resilient, fuck it, we're going to keep going for this, that Newcastle that I've seen under Eddie Howe. Now, the reason I'm more surprised with this performance today is because the players had 3 exhausting away games in 7 days before the break, and now they've had a nice long trip to Dubai, nice time to unwind, get their heads back in the game. So that's concerning, because yes, we have a 9-point gap out of the relegation battle, but the way we turned over so easily in that second half, that team was unrecognisable from what I have known us to be since the turn of the year, since Dan Burns come in, since January the 1st. I know before Christmas we got beat because we had such hard fixtures against the likes of Liverpool and Manchester City and whatnot, but that for me was just an unrecognisable team, and I'm still struggling to put together what happened there. For me, I'm going to go on record and say it, and I know it's going to be a controversial opinion. Alan Saint-Maximin, at the moment, is not the right dynamic for how Eddie Howe has us playing, and has us playing as a football team going back and forth. It's a dynamic on that left-hand side when he's in the starting 11 since Eddie Howe's come in. I think we look worse. Not attacking-wise. I am aware that Alan Saint-Maximin can do things with a football that I couldn't dream of, and most players that we've had in the last 10 years of our football club couldn't dream of. But overall, he loses the ball today. He lost the ball today so many occasions. Defensively, he's still very suspect, especially playing away from home against a dangerous team like Spurs, who have pace going forward from all areas, full-back and midfield. And he today did not put in the performance that I sort of expected. All we've seen on Instagram is, I'm going to prove the haters wrong. People will start listening. Time to crack on. The first 10 minutes, we were all guns blazing. I think it was the first 5 minutes, and Maximin he was picking up free kicks, and I was like, shit, this guy is on it today. Never saw that today. He's still making poor decisions in decisive areas and losing the ball. And one of their goals, it cost us. He lost the ball high up the field. There was one right at the end of the second half. He had loads of room, loads of time to pass the ball, and he tried to take on 2 men, and he lost it. And I've seen the articles today about us willing to listen to offers for him. I'm just going to go on record. I don't often make controversial statements. I would not be surprised, based off how Eddie Howe wants to play, if there's a little bit of truth to that, because he maybe feels that Alan St. Maximin is not the right fit for us going forward as a football club. He's a luxury. And we are still in a relegation battle, and I don't know whether St. Maximin, right now, with the setup that we play with our midfield, is the kind of luxury we can afford to have, because when he hasn't played, I think we've looked a lot sounder across the pitch. But he wasn't the reason we lost today. The reason we lost today was because across the whole team, we were absolutely gash in the second half. I thought Ryan Fraser today was very quiet. Even in the first half, Ryan Fraser offered us not very little. He didn't have that energy that looks like a dog who's just drank a Red Bull. He was just very, very steady. Joe Linton, when I saw Joe Linton going off in the second half, I thought, if that doesn't sum up how bad we've been today, Joe Linton never, ever, ever gets subbed, Big Joey, that early in a game. And he did, he had a poor game. He wasn't all over the place. He wasn't making those crucial interceptions and breaking up play like we used to. And I became very surprised as the second half wore on with how easily we were getting carved open again and again and again. From Byrne, from Shah. Manquillo, for me today, was very poor. He got caught at the back post for a couple of the goals, and he did not look like a solid right back. I don't know whether there's even an argument in today's game, in hindsight now, whether Kraft in that box would have been more alert as a natural centre-back and maybe would have eradicated a couple of them goals a little bit better than what Manquillo did, because he was not switched on today. And I wasn't surprised to see Manquillo get hooked off neither. I know that was probably more a tactical decision to see Murphy drive forward a bit more. Willock was probably, for me, our best player. I thought Willock looked lively, and he looked like he wanted it. He was unlucky with the header in the second half. He was unlucky in the first half with that shot that was blocked when we were actually on top at that point. He, for me, was my standout in a very, very poor performance overall. I'm not going to get too down on this one because there's fixtures to come. Wolves on Friday is a totally different animal to playing Tottenham away from home. And I said in the match preview, we didn't know what Tottenham we were getting. We got today the Tottenham in the second half. We were poor. And I think they picked up on that with the early goal that they got to take the lead, and it just went from there. And Harry Kane and Son started to have a bit of a field day. And I'm not going to pronounce his name in midfield. They had the central midfielder who had the argy-bargy with Maximin in the first half. He kind of ran the show for them today as well. So I don't think any of our players were at the races. I thought Matt Targett maybe, I could say, had a decent game in defence out of the four of them. Obviously, Fabian Schär scored. The goalkeeper's got to do better with that one. And at half-time, I was happy. Second half was a massive slap in the face. And that was exactly what we have known under Steve Bruce. Really, really poor showing from the lads. And I'm just concerned where that came from. But, yeah, Shelvey, poor. Dan Burn and Shah, I've got to say, as the second half went on, a poor showing from them. Manquillo, for me, was very bad today. Chris Wood didn't really affect the game. I know he's never really grabbed the game by a scruff of the neck since he signed for us, but very, very disappointing. And I think that second half has really just given us a bump down to the earth that, yes, we've still got the 9-point gap, but Burnley and Everton still have to play each other on Wednesday. It's not over yet, and we really need to pick up some points. And that Wolves game on Friday, different game altogether, but that becomes important. And yes, if we can get one more win, a win and a draw, and get to 35 points, I think we are almost over the line. So I'm not going to sit here shitting myself. Everything we have achieved since the turn of the year has been fantastic. Eddie Howe has done a phenomenal job, and I'm not going to get on his back. But when you turn over like we did in the second half, I am going to sit here very pissed off, very gobsmacked, if I'm being totally honest with you, fan who is not happy with what them players have done on that football pitch in that second 45. It wasn't good enough, and we really need to galvanise the group now. Eddie needs to do that and pull them together and say, right lads, let's go back to basics, I think. So, as always, Newcastle fans, drop in the comments, let me know what you thought of today's game. Let me know what you might have done differently as the game went on, what you thought of some of the players' performances, obviously what you thought of Maximin coming back in. And if you're new to Black and White Banter, make sure you drop us a like, make sure you drop us a subscribe, and I'll probably touch down as the week goes on for a match preview for Wolves and try and salvage some of my weekend now, because if there's one thing Newcastle's been known to do, not so much lately, is shit on a weekend, and that second half performance just took a massive crap on my face as far as a Sunday afternoon kicking the balls goes. So let's regroup, Newcastle fans. Big game on Friday. Let's not dwell on this one too much, but hopefully Eddie can sort the boys out, and thank you very much for watching, and I hope you can enjoy some of the rest of your weekend.